Bound 'neath the dark of the virgin soil lay a fledgling seed in silent toil. Imprisoned thus in a womb of earth, the fledgling strove as a child in birth, till at last the prize was won, and its prison grave at last was done. As the sun arose and the morning broke, on virgin soil stood a fledgling oak, rising high o'er freedom's shore, through storm and flood and tempest sore, standing alone at last to be, clothed with might and majesty, tall, triumphant, battle-worn, charting the course of an oak freeborn. A mighty oak, a towering tree, with battle scars and spirit free. In all of God's creation fair, there is no beauty quite so rare, for the mold from which God made the tree is the mold from which he made men free. Bound 'neath the dark of a distant soil lay another seed in silent toil. None could sound the depths of its cry, as 'neath the soil it too sought the sky. Locked in the hearts of brave men and true, this fledgling seed became captain and crew. When crossed the sea, where hopes lay dead, from oppressive rule brave pilgrims fled. Striking sail they put to sea, in search of a land where all could be free. Free from political oppression and fear, free to worship and to God draw near, free from the weight of a galling yoke, and free to grow tall like the mighty oak. Beset by storms and tempests sore, brave pilgrims sailed toward freedom's shore, till at last the prize was won, and the perilous sea at last was done. Thus to Plymouth Rock they came, and by God's grace to power and fame. From a fledgling seed born of a yoke sprang the roots of a nation and a mighty oak. But freedom's price could not come cheap, nor hope repose in well-earned sleep. Eternal vigilance was the price to pay, for the dogs of war were loose that day. Close on the heels of freedom's coup, oppressive rule began anew. The British crown from across the sea in scorn imposed a tax on tea, which at last with festering hate fixed the course of war and a nation's fate. Sailing once more o'er the perilous sea rode the fate of a nation born to be free. From the motherland to America's shore, the redcoats sailed 'neath a banner of war. 'Twas not just a ship which sailed the sea, but the timeless foe of liberty. To many a land this foe had sailed, and in as many lands had its power prevailed. And now, having fled to the ends of the earth, freedom must prove her eternal worth. As warlords marched in mighty force, a patriot mounted his faithful horse, and through the night rode freedom's call, which first was heard at Carpenter's Hall. Then rang the shot, heard round the world, as destiny's flag again unfurled. The struggling oak of the land of the free in silhouette stood where the sky meets the sea. Midst darkness and death, through storm and flood, her virgin soil, now stained with blood, stained with the blood of freedom's hope, preferring death to fetters of rope. From the speaking blood rose the battle cry, "Give us liberty, or let us die." So rose the cry throughout the land, "Unite America, let freedom stand. God will fight our cause this day. To arms, America, to your knees and pray. Let heaven and earth God's praises sing, and by God's grace let freedom ring." 'Twas a nation united with a noble cause, asking no quarter and giving no pause. America stood at destiny's door, at once a republic and a nation at war. To Valley Forge brave soldiers came to prove the worth of freedom's claim. But years of war, midst wretched plight, plunged their hopes to darkest night, and naught was left in winter's wake, nor yet such treasures held at stake. As darkness veiled war's somber scene, bright rockets burst against the blackened screen. But darkness of night with its flaming death spoke fear and hope in a single breath. For bursting bombs with rockets aglare gave proof through the night their flag was still there. A tattered old flag with her freedom call majestically waved o'er the fortress wall. Hark as she calls to that noble band, whose hands hold the fate of the promised land. Faint not, my sons, as you heed my call, nor suffer your flag in the dust to fall. The battle is God's and our cause is right. We never shall lose, his strength is our might. This war is not fought over taxes and tea. This war is fought that men might be free. The stars on this flag bear the hopes of the years, locked in the hearts of our noble forebears. The stripes underneath are the wounds they bore, the yoke of oppression and the ravage of war. No star ever shines till a stripe has been laid, and no nation freeborn till the price has been paid. If freedom would live on the face of this earth, brave men must determine the price of its worth. Its worth is unmeasured, its wealth is untold. Only in Christ do its treasures unfold. As he came to die on Calvary's tree, the soul from the bonds of death to free, so must these stars be born of a cross, immeasurable wealth from insufferable loss. In your travail these stars shine on, and with your stripes shall the battle be won. Up now, ye sons, and your burden bear. See not its loss, but its beauty rare. At the sight of Old Glory still aloft in the skies, brave soldiers rose to seize the prize. The battle raged, but the prize was won, and the longest night at last was done. On crimson soil, as the morning broke, by a tattered old flag stood a mighty oak, rising high o'er freedom's shore, marred and scarred from the wounds of war, spreading its branches from sea to sea, o'er the home of the brave and the land of the free. Tall, triumphant, battle-worn, charting the course of a land freeborn. A mighty oak, a towering tree, with battle scars and spirit free. In all of God's creation fair, there is no beauty quite so rare, for the mold from which God made the tree is the mold that made America free. But the half as yet has not been told of the beauty wrought from freedom's mold, as now described before our eyes, majestic 'gainst the hoary skies, rising high o'er freedom's shore, crimson stained from another war. By a tattered old flag stands another tree on a lonely hill called Calvary, unimpaired through storm and flood, crowned with glory, stained with blood, where for all Christ chose to face the crucible of redeeming grace, to die alone on Calvary's tree, to conquer death and make men free, the hope of all ages and of every clime, towering o'er all the wrecks of time, tall, triumphant, battle-worn, and Lord of all in a world freeborn. A tattered old flag, a rugged tree, and a lonely hill called Calvary. In all of earth and heaven fair, there is no beauty anywhere matching God's amazing grace bestowed on Adam's fallen race. For the mold from which God made the tree, and from which he made America free, was first, before the world began, designed to ransom fallen man, and mold us for that perfect morn, when we dwell at peace in a world freeborn. Up America, and under God, discover again the paths once trod, with the flag aloft and the cross before, and united as one, be silent no more. Of mercy, truth, and justice sing, and by God's grace let freedom ring. Up America, this is the way, or the cross and the flag breaks the golden day. Thank you, and God bless you, and may God bless these United States of America.